Hey guys, welcome to For the Fans. I'm Kevin and I'm here with CJ. We're here to talk about Big Brother 26 with the 5 PMers. Let's go. CJ, how's it going?
It's all right. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So, as you know, 5 PMers, we have a little bit of different take on things here. Me and CJ are a little late because we were talking offline about the situation. Me and CJ, big football guys, big football fans. And we were talking about the situation where star wide receiver Tyreek Hill was arrested yesterday.
But
Though
not like
he,
actually arrested. He was just
yeah,
detained.
he was detained for reckless driving. There's a video on the internet. If you haven't seen it, it's about 3.5 minutes long, and it's a wild escalation. And it's kind of like what you see happens to some folks that are look like us. Wild. It's wild.
Yeah, but that's actually not what soured my mood. I watched a lot of the feeds today, and
But you're
I'm,
already
I'm already
spoiled.
I'm already ready to talk about spoilers.
Okay. So let's before we get to the spoilers, let's talk it through what happened right here. CJ, first off, I want to get your thoughts on Joseph going home last week.
I think that Joseph was playing a very similar game to Chelsea. You know, they were right
Okay.
there, eye to eye.
Me and you, same game.
Same game. You know, I think he was definitely like the biggest alpha male behind Tucker. You know, he was
Yeah,
just he was just lying in wait to be a comp beast. And I
he would
think
have
that,
beaten Tucker.
he definitely would have beaten Tucker in final two. And I think that they did the right thing, taking out such a big, imposing threat before the dude was awful. I'm glad he's gone.
Dude, so I don't know if I told you this. So one time I played this online game. I like to play online versions of like Survivor Big Brother. I haven't played one in a while, but I was playing. It was a couple years ago. I was playing one, and there was this group that I was playing with, and like we were all um floating. I use air quotes because I was actually the person behind three big blind sides, four big
By
blind
just
sides.
by just using the quote unquote floaters as numbers.
No. I actually orchestrated the votes and got people out. I ended up coming in fourth because the guy that was a cop beast realized he thought we were playing the same game until we did this game that I hate called Touchy Subjects. It's a old Survivor um, challenge. We did that, and then that's when everyone was like, "I trust Kevin the most. Kevin's playing the
Yes.
best game." Blah blah. That like ruined my
It,
game.
I hate that comp because it puts everyone's cards on the table.
Correct, and that's what happened to me. And that's when that dude who was winning all the cops was like, literally, we got on Zoom like this, and he said, "I can't beat you." And I was like, "What are you talking? You're my final two. Like we're working together. What do you mean?" He's like, "They think I'm a fool, and they think you're playing the best game. So we're playing the same game though. Like you're the brawn and I'm the brains. You know what I'm saying?" And he's like, "Nah." And so
No.
like he waited a couple rounds and he ended up getting me out at final four. But the reason I say that is because the other two in the final three with him, I was shepherding along. And at one point when we were at like final six, the other two were like, "I can't. I'm happy to sit in the final three with you because the three of us play the same game." And I said, "Yeah, that's exactly what happened. We've been playing the same game all along." And then when I went to jury, someone told me I was playing an S tier game, one of the best social games they've ever seen. They couldn't believe. Another person said they couldn't believe all the blind sides I was able to pull off with nobody knowing. And I was like, "Yeah, because I'm like that." You know what I'm saying? Like it's true.
Yeah,
I,
but
I was
they didn't know that until
correct, and
somebody
then
said it.
correct, and then it was really funny because after the game was over, the guy that came in second because the dude that said I can't beat you, he ended up winning. So I advocated for him to win. He deserved to win. So the
Yeah.
other two, I got into a chat with them, and I was like, "Hey guys, sorry for like tricking y'all thinking that we were playing the same game." They're like, one of them said, "I legitimately thought we were playing the same game until the jury questions. They were talking about how great your game was, and I said, 'Oh shit, Kevin was never playing the game we were playing.'"
Nope.
And that's exactly what I thought here when Joseph said to Chelsea, "We're playing the same game." I was like, "I've been there before," and Chelsea's like, "Yeah, yeah,
I
we're
mean,
playing the
anytime
same
somebody
game."
thinks you're playing the same game, you know
They're
you got to
probably not playing that game.
they're not playing that game. And if you know you're playing the same game as someone else, you need to
You
get
need
rid
to
of them
change
before
the
the
game.
end.
You need to change the game or get rid of
Yeah.
You got to. So,
So it's just like
Joseph.
on a hold on. So like on a level of Joseph just being a dumbass, why would you ever tell someone you're playing the same game? Because they're either going to laugh at you or they're going to believe you, and then they got to get rid of you because you're fucking up their narrative.
True. Because we can't have the same story.
We can't.
We can't have the same story. And like, if you tell me that we playing the same game, and I'm like, oh shit, we are. Only one of us. Listen, there's only one Highlander. Okay,
Exactly.
only one of us can be the Highlander. So that is what it is. By the way, shout out to James Earl Jones, passed away today. Rest in power, James Earl Jones, Darth
AKA
Vader,
Mufasa.
Mufasa. Question for you, CJ: Is The Lion King a black movie?
No. But I see why you're asking.
I don't know. A lot of people say it is a black movie.
I've heard it before. I've never actually contemplated it. I see why people say it is.
It's in Africa.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones.
Number one reason. Yeah.
Jason Weaver, Simba.
But it's also Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
But the singing voice, the part that you remember, them sing, them. Do you remember them songs? Do you remember them words? That's what I want to know.
All the words I remember come from James Earl Jones. The case.
All the words I know that he says are from Jason Weaver. Well,
Okay,
I just can't wait to be king.
Can I give you a reason why it's not a black movie?
Yes, please.
Incest.
Does lion incest count?
For me, yes.
It goes against my beliefs and my views.
Yes.
Animal incest.
And for that reason, I'm out.
I guess because Nala, is Nala, or is it Nairobi? Is Nairobi the sister of Mufasa?
Yes? No. Yes.
No.
No, but Nala has a different mom, I thought.
But Mufasa's not her father.
They're kissing cousins. There's only one male lion.
Listen, that's how the real Animal Kingdom works, but not in this Disney movie.
How do you know?
How do you know? Because there's another male lion in Scar.
So the live action Lion King with Beyonce as Nala.
Yes.
She overacted. I could hear it.
Yeah, Beyonce is the queen, but she's not a great.
She's not
actress.
like if the entire time Nala was talking in that one, all I kept hearing is "I'm Foxy Cleopatra" and I'm a whole lot of woman. Like,
see, have you ever seen Carmen and Hipoptera?
Yes.
Also not great.
No, that's why we don't talk about it.
That's correct. Beyonce's still the queen though.
What's your best movie?
Lion King.
Nah. Fighting Temptations.
That's the best movie. That's Beyonce's best movie. It might be.
With Dreamgirls being a close second.
Dreamgirls was really good, but she wasn't even the star of Dreamgirls. Jennifer Hudson was.
I know. That's why I'm giving it to Fighting Temptations, because she was the star of that. Her in Cuba.
Wasn't she in that other movie with the Obsession or something like that?
Obsessed, I think is what it was called.
Yeah, I think it was called Obsessed. Maybe she was in that. I'm not positive. Look at that Beyonce's IMDb. This is
scrolling.
This is a specific black thing that we're asking here.
Completely on the other side. Like, how do we get here?
We'll start off talking about Joseph, and then Joseph and Chelsea team played her game, and then now we're at Beyonce and her best acting role.
I forgot she was in Cadillac Records.
Okay. Was she obsessed though?
She was in Obsessed in 2009.
Boom! Look at that, Kev. Look at that. Like, I'm proud of myself. Anyway, Beyonce is not a great actress. Great singer, though. Great performer. The queen. Beehive, don't come for us. And if you do, it's that keyboard sarcasm. Don't come for me. But keyboard sarcasm on all social media platforms. Anyway, um, Joseph, man, like you said, when you're saying that you're playing the same game as Chelsea, Chelsea's definitely playing a completely different game. As she says in her confessional, in her diary room, she first got she gets become it has a disadvantage. Then she becomes HoH. Then she takes herself off the block. Then she is the one orchestrating blindsides. All in the name of Cedric. All in the name of young Cedric. And Joseph said, "We're doing me and you, same game, same." While Joseph said, "I'm not trying to win shit."
I don't understand why anyone would try to model their game after Dr. Will. And this is not an indictment on Dr. Will. It's that it's so difficult to do. So difficult to do. Why would that be your goal?
Dr. Will is a legend, and so a lot of people want to play like the legend. Like when we talk about people, we compare people to like Jordan, right? Or like we compare them to like Magic or Kareem. You want to compare them to what you consider the best. Now the thing is, just like those other guys, anyone that says I want to play like Wilt, the game is played differently than when Wilt played. If you want to play like the Dream, Hakeem, the game is played differently than Hakeem's time. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't account for. Because Dr. Will in Big Brother 2 was able to not win any comps, but still have the dastardly social game to get it done because the game wasn't played like it is today.
Yeah, and
That's
it's funny.
important.
It's funny because as we talk about this season, this is something that I was talking about today with the wife, was that I would love to see a season now where nobody has ever seen the show and they're just thrown in the game and have to figure it out, because we haven't seen that since season 1. And
Season
the
2.
strategy, or season 2, the
Season
strategy
1,
changes.
the game was completely different.
Yeah, season 1 and the season 2, like specifically season 1, nobody knows what they're doing yet, and we're
Well, the
never
reason I
going
say
to get.
season two has the season one has the fan vote. Everyone voted out the people to get evicted. Season two
That's
is the first season that the game was played. So you're right. You haven't seen that since season 2, but you'll never see it because through osmosis, people will know what happened. We'll have some strategy. No one has sense enough to show up and not have at least asked somebody
But this is
how's this
similar.
go.
Like this is similar to like another show we cover here. The differences between Survivor seasons 1 and 2 are night and day, because season 1, people thought they were going for an adventure and a vacation. It's that great adventure that Jeff is always advertising. Season 2, even in the promos, you get stuff like Jerry Matheny talking about how cutthroat she's going to be.
Jerry Matthew.
Or Jerry Matthew. Yeah, like, you got, like, give me one more of those where people are, like, learning what they're doing. Because we haven't had that in a long time, and the way that the game has been played this season, it does make me question if some of these people have never watched before.
Well, like Jerry Matthew and that era, the internet was different.
Not
Right?
only the
Like
internet was different, but we didn't have a million competition shows.
correct. So now it will be impossible for that way to be done now.
And that's why
Would.
but it's why some of these new competition shows become like super popular when they first start, is because people are figuring it out. And then season 2 comes and it loses its luster.
Well, season 2 loses some steam. Yeah, you're right. As it continues on, it decreases in terms of like popularity because you're learning how it goes.
Because like we just watched Squid Game, and we just watched Traders, and both of them, season 1, it became a thing online because people are trying to figure out how it works. Season 2 of Traders, I think it was more popular, but I don't think we talked about it as much.
Well, because everybody knew how the game went at that point, even though it's just a game
Exactly.
of Mafia. Fairs is just Mafia,
It's
so you
just
probably
Mafia,
play it more. But it was Mafia with have reality people, have regular folk, and then it just became all reality people,
which
which
is
is
better.
much more fun.
It's better.
But you're talking about some like having something new and fresh happening, right? And that leads us into our first topic because I think for the first time ever, votes were changed by someone's speech.
Which is wild to think about because we've been doing this for a quarter century.
Because most of the time, all those speeches are boilerplate, right? They're just things you have to get through. You have to do the speech, you hit the pieces, and then everyone already has the vote made up. Like Chemo just stands up and talks about how he wants to be a representation of the queer community. He wants to be a representation of Hawaii, the island community, specifically the Hawaiians. And it really, Chemo's already like emotionally touching a lot of people. So him speaking on the things that he wants to be in this world, if you will,
Yeah.
really stood out to all of them.
And it's funny, like, the speech was touching, and I get it, but so many people I feel like so many people this season have, and for the last few seasons, it's, I want to be the first. I want to be the first to do this. So if he's like, I want to be the first, like, queer person, well, we had Casey, and that was recent. I want to be the first Islander. Well, you have the same narrative as Rubina. You're both Pacific Islander. Like, there's so many, or Chelsea, like, I want to be the.
Is Filipino Pacific Islander? I guess.
Yes,
No?
it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
we talk about Filipino, but it's in the Pacific Islands, Pacific Islander.
Mhm.
You have Brooklyn, so much of her, I want to be
I
the
want to
first
be
married mom.
first married mother. And I want to touch on Brooklyn real quick because someone asked her about that, and she's like, she was looking for her why. And she wanted her why that could stand out. She realized there was no married mothers that had one before. Little did she realize she would now be in competition with Angela, who also wanted to be the first married mother.
Yeah. But like, there's so many of these just like, I want to be the first this or the first that. And it's your favorite thing in sports when it's the random stats that they just made up. Like,
Yeah.
nobody has ever ran 73 yards on a Tuesday while breaking 3 tackles in this stadium.
This is the biggest moment right here. 73 yards on a Tuesday, breaking 7 tackles, and it comes across the bottom screen, the bottom line right there. And you're like, what a record. What a record set today
Exactly.
of all days.
And that's what this is starting to feel like. So it's why, to bring it all together, it's why, like, yeah, Chemo's speech touched a lot of people, would not have touched me, because it's just, we're hearing this all the time now, and I'm becoming desensitized to it.
But it worked, right? Because allegedly Mackenzie looked like in the moment she really made that move. She goes into there and she talks to Julie and she looks like she's struggling, and she sadly votes to evade Chelsea. We saw last week Chelsea did a dance when she voted to the Tucker. This time she goes in there and says, Auntie Julie. By the way, how great is it that Julie loves being called Auntie Julie? That she's like, Chelsea, tell your auntie, what you doing? What you doing? Tell your auntie. And she says, Auntie Julie, Auntie, I vote to evict Joseph.
Would you rather be Auntie Julie or would you rather be Chenbot? I think she's going to pick one or the other.
No. You haven't seen the videos of the AI Arena the last 2 weeks. She's like, all right, Chenbot, because Julie's running the AI Arena before they do. So she has previews. So she said both times, all right, Chenbot, 3, 2, 1, go. Then she like goes and does the thing. But she called herself Chenbot both times. She doesn't have to choose one lane, CJ. She hears it all. And she's cool with it. She's cool with it.
Ridiculous.
So Chenbot, Auntie, I think though that she loves being called Auntie Julie. And I think as we know, she is very devout in her faith. Chelsea is, and Julie loves God, has God 101, which is her uh, video that she does occasionally with Big Brother house guests. I think Chelsea will be a regular on God 101 because Chelsea's a fan favorite. I think she's a Julie favorite, and I think that she's gonna say it's gonna be Chelsea and Auntie sitting down with y'all as we talk on God 101. She's gonna love to do that. But
Oh yeah, Brooklyn will be a frequent guest.
Brooklyn as well. Brooklyn will also be a frequent guest, and Mackenzie, all three of them, the God
Yep.
Squad. It's interesting though because Julie is someone. Well, not Julie. Chelsea was able to connect with Chemo's speech, though I think that she already had in her mind that she was willing to take the risk on the flip. And
She wanted Joseph gone anyway, so I don't
correct,
think I think the speech did touch her. I don't think it was a difficult decision the way it was for Mackenzie.
correct. They tried to paint it as two individual narratives. I don't know how true that is because that's kind of hard to believe.
Do you think that Mackenzie knew she was the swing vote, and that's why it was so hard for her? Because Chelsea had already made up her mind.
I think that they both thought that they were also just piling on with Angela and Rubina and T-Core.
Oh, so you thought they thought it was going to be like 5-2?
I mean, Angela goes in there and says, Chemo, I wish I had the votes to save you, but I don't. Oh, you're such a good person. I vote to evict Chemo.
I don't know. We've talked about this before. I don't understand how everything this woman
Everything
wants.
comes up, Angela.
You know how they talk about people like rising to the level of their incompetence or like just being promoted at work despite not doing anything? That's Angela.
Everything works out for Angela.
So, Angela, how do you have a 7-figure salary? I don't know. Just every couple of weeks, some money shows up. So,
I
what do you
keep
do?
getting promoted. I keep getting promoted, CJ, obviously. But what are you doing to get promoted? I show up to work, I make the coffee, I sit at my desk, and they say, Angela, you are now the senior whatever at whatever. So I show up and I said, okay, I'm just going to keep doing what I do. But it's so hard for me, CJ, because they keep putting me in bad situations and then it works out.
But, yeah, they put you in a bad situation. But were you not the one that burnt all of the coffee for 4 straight weeks?
Listen, I'm really sorry about that. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. And then they're like, okay, there she is. Congratulations on your promotion, Angela.
Yeah. Here's another $10,000. It's wild.
Exactly.
It's
It's wild.
wild.
It is wild that they keep that one, man, Angela. But it's, you said Chemo's speech didn't touch you. It seemed to touch Angela, but it didn't change what she was doing vote wise because she wanted to be with the House, though the House went the other direction, so now she wasn't with the House.
Isn't this three weeks in a row this has happened to this woman now?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That she
Yeah.
wanted to be with the House, and the House flipped.
And they're like, what do you want to do? Cool. You're doing A. Everyone, we're doing B. We're doing B, everyone, we're doing B. Angela, you said you're doing A. Sounds great. Keep it up. That's just how that goes. Oh, here's your promotion. So, Chemo's speech ends up saving him remarkably. And Joseph's out the door. Immediately, we have that face, that shocked face from Quinn.
Yeah. He thought he had the votes. He wasn't worried.
It's what a terrible, terrible HOH.
So if you're Quinn and you had your deep fake HOH that everyone knew about it, so you were basically just regular HOH, and you put your final 2 in the house up as a pawn, and then they proceed to go home, why would you ever put another final 2 up?
it doesn't make sense. Like the math is not mathing
Nah.
because I saw already it happened once, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it happened to me, so I would have thought that I would have learned my lesson. So
Fool me
then,
once, shame on you. Fool me twice, he's an idiot.
kind of, and it's weird because like you, no one talked about voting out Joseph like openly, but they kind of did in front of you. But you're like, we're not doing that. And then they're like, okay, sure, we're not doing that. But
Never.
you knew the votes were going to be so close because of who you had on the block still. Because Rubina coming off leaves just chemo.
Yep.
That's already 2 votes to save chemo without even thinking about it. It's too easy for a flip. You should have put up T-Core.
Yeah, there was
Then one
there
of them
was
surely would have gone.
well, I still don't understand why this fool is so invested in the visionaries when Chemo has took a flamethrower to his game. When
Yeah,
Chemo or
well,
when Quinn's not screwing up his own game, Chemo is right there. Like, oh Quinn, you forgot to do this. Here, let me help you screw this up some more.
yeah. It was all because he handed him the flamethrower and told him, hey, so you see right there, you're going to pull that little lever right there, and you're going to torch my game like this.
Yeah.
And then that's how you get this face on eviction night. Just shock, sadness, awe.
He looks like somebody ran over his puppy.
He's so sad, but also surprised.
Yeah.
It happens. Chemo speech, though, I commend him. He was able to get the votes to flip. So I thought that was one thing that was important because I've never seen that happen in the history of the show. Um, we One thing we have seen happen is that there's been many times where there's been little clips, and the clips are usually known as everybody that you need to study
Yep.
because they might be used for a competition.
Yeah.
And
So
lo and
this
behold,
time, doorbell cam.
correct. And I loved it. I thought it was great. They got Lisa back in trying to get back in the house, which is funny. Um, Apparently there was 40 like videos.
Yeah, because they only showed us, I think, 12 to 15.
Yeah.
And I know there's always more than that, but they showed us the
Mhm.
ones that were relevant to the questions.
Correct. And so we get some good ones. We get some little good shout outs. We got a pizza person that says, I got some pizzas with Kenny's sweet Kenny cake sausage. Oh, that was funny. We had another one that where you gotta need the pizza so when you go watch Young Cedric. That was another good one. Lisa there said she had the glitter, just trying to get back in the house. I love when Lisa had like the disguise on. That was funny.
That was funny. I do think that it's interesting because they did show the house guest, and on the first video, you saw Angela asking, how many pizzas were there? And the other person saying 9. Because you don't know what these videos they're going to quiz you on, so you have to remember everything about everything.
Yeah. Yep. And I liked this twist because once again, CJ, what have I been saying all season? Equitable competitions.
Oh, I thought you were going to say pawns go home. But yeah, equitable comps.
And having equitable comps um, has really changed this whole season. First off, though, shout out to Tasha, who's in the chat. If you're here watching, jump in the chat, have some conversation. We'd love to talk to you guys as well. Equitable
I
comps,
think they're
though,
mad at us after picking the best Beyonce movie.
that is true. If you missed that part, Obsessed is
Fighting
probably the best
Temptations.
Beyonce movie. She just
Fighting
says Fighting
Temptations.
Temptations. Carmen the Hip Opera, one of the worst. Don't watch it if you haven't seen it. Dreamgirls is a really good movie, but she just wasn't here for it. Jen Brunson, shouts to her.
Yep.
But back to the doorbell cam. Um, I liked that they were able to use all these videos. And they had them waking up in the middle of the night and stuff like that. I loved all those things because you don't know what you're going to need.
Yeah, in the timestamps of the videos that they showed us on the episode, those videos went from just after 7 p.m. to, I think the latest one they showed us was like 12:30 a.m. And you know they go longer than that. Like they're up
Yep.
all night. You
And
saw
then,
they pulled out the big Jenga set and they were just sitting in the living room playing because they're like, we got to sit here for
because another
video
video is going to come. Yep.
Yep.
But like the best part about all of this though is that you have, like I said, equitable competitions. Anyone, this is up to anyone. You don't need to be physical. You just got to be paying attention and remembering what's going on.
The most physical thing about this comp is, can you step up or down one stair?
Yes, and something that Kylie pointed out when me and her did the Thursday show on Friday, the special Friday edition of the Thursday show. Since they're equitable comps, everyone in the house right now has won a competition.
That's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
I was like, what did Chemo win? He won AI Arena. That's true.
Yep. Everyone left in the house has won a competition. And that's cool.
If you would have told me coming into the season, especially after watching last season, that this deep into the game, it would be a very female heavy game, and that Angela, of all the cast members that walked into the door, would have won 2 HOHs, I never would have believed you. No, and this isn't a dig on Angela. This is more of the way that the game has been played.
Correct.
Like they didn't like almost everything was physical last season.
Yes. Cockadoodle Doom just controlled the seasons. Jack. In this situation, there have been 5 female HOHs.
Yeah.
5 female HOHs.
They had 2
and this is week 8. This is week 8.
Yeah.
5 female HOHs, 3 males, and 1 from Cedric, 2 from Quinn, or 1 from Quinn, 1 deep fake, and then 1 from Tucker. That's it.
It's crazy.
And it's such a contrast when, like last season, I think women won 2 competitions, 3 competitions, something like that.
Yeah, it's wild that like I never noticed how equitable the Big Brother comps were until last season when there was a noticeable shift in comps. Exactly.
And it's not a noticeable shift because it actually had been that way for a while. But last season, it was just so egregious.
It's not even that it's egregious. It's that it was 2 dudes that won everything.
Cameron, and then when Cameron was gone, Jack.
Yeah.
Whereas in this season, you've had a veto win from Leah. You've had a veto win from Mackenzie. You've had Cam veto win. HOH competitions won by Chelsea. HOH competitions won by Angela. Just all over the place. T-Core won an HOH. Rubino won an AI Arena. Like, it's cool. Like, just straight up, it's cool.
So last season, they had 4 female HOH wins. 3 were Bowie. 1 was Felicia.
And was it Bowie down the stretch?
Yeah. So
Felicia early.
So after the zombie week with Cam and Jared, the HOHs went Cam, Bowie, Jag, Bowie, Matt, Bowie, Jag.
3 down the stretch for Bowie Jane. As she's competing against Suri and Felicia, both in their 60s. And then Scrawny Corey and America couldn't get it together. That was down the stretch. Whereas this season, we've had Angela, first HOH, Chelsea, Cedric, and back to Angela, Tucker.
So going,
T-Core.
So we had Angela, Chelsea, Cedric, Quinn, who took over for Angela, Tucker, T-Core, Quinn, Chelsea.
Yep.
And then even for veto winners, you see the diversity as you have Lisa, then Kenny, then Tucker, then Mackenzie, 2 by Tucker, Cam, Leah, Mackenzie. Like they're spreading the wins.
Correct. And that just changes the game because everyone has different interests. And having another competition like this one allowed for another winner. And sure enough, we get a 4-way tie in the final. And Chelsea says on the feed a little bit later that she was trying to throw it and she thought she would go low. She just didn't realize everybody would be so high.
So it's funny because she went low and she did the same math that I did. I think that I know the comp went at least an hour. I don't think it went that much longer than that. So how long is an hour? It's 3,600 seconds, which is the same math that Cam did. But Cam sucks at math because if you notice, he did 36,000, not 3,600. But he did the math. He just
Yeah,
screwed up the math.
he had
So
an extra zero.
he added an extra zero. But I was like, how did Chelsea come down to 2,700, like 2,780, when she said she was going for an hour, and an hour is 3,600? So she was trying to throw it. That makes sense. Because I would have ended
Yeah.
up winning that because I would have went I would have said 3,601. Price is Right rules. I just want to be $1 over.
Well, she said that with Mackenzie, her being tied with Mackenzie, Chemo, and Cam, safe and safe.
Yeah.
So she was just trying to like put one of them in the HOH room, let them make a decision because Mackenzie ain't putting her up. She has
Nope.
Mackenzie by the purse. She got Cam by the balls, and Chemo, she was saved his life. So we still get another our girl Chelsea HOH once again. Chelsea's playing a great game. Now that she's HOH, we're going to have to see how it goes, and that gets us right into Chelsea. Our number 3 topic: Chelsea's inquiry. I like that that they painted this as if Chelsea was deciding between Leah and who was going to sit next to Angela, because her first one was actually with Cam.
Yeah.
The one they showed last, they showed it was really Cam. And those questions really did hit like that. She did really hit them like that. She was like, you're just gonna vote to save Leah anyway. Why would I put her up if you're willing to risk my life in this game? And it was a tough questioning. And I didn't love the tactic when I was watching on the feeds when she was doing it. But she's real in her feelings about the Mackenzie, like Cam with the women thing.
So from watching the way that it was edited with her getting pissy about the cuddling, and then you follow it up with this, like it makes her look real green with envy. And it's not a good look for my girl because like she's been playing a great game and it looks like she's willing to implode her game over this. And I don't like that man is not worth $750,000, sis. Just
no,
keep it moving.
And well, it's interesting because like in reality, what happened? Cam like gave it up, right? He's the one that's like Leah's like she's like who I'm trying to set myself up for not someone to come after me later because she feels like it's going to be a double.
Okay.
So she's trying to set herself up.
It's not, but she doesn't.
I don't think it is. I don't know that for sure, but I don't think it is.
I feel like every time they have a double, they announce it a week in advance. So that's why
which is why I think they do that to try to get eyes to come back and watch what people are watching already. So they might just say it on the Wednesday episode. I'm not positive. Don't hold me to it, but that might be the case.
I'm operating under the assumption it's not as someone outside the house. But once you hit jury, I'm always going to be I'm always going to be operating under the assumption that it's a double until I've had a double.
Yeah, and then I'm figuring out like a week before there might be another.
Yeah, so like the one time when they did the back-to-back doubles, that one would have fucked up my whole game. I would have been like, what happened? Where
That's not the math I was doing.
Yeah.
That's not the math I was doing.
I had at least a week to get my plans in order.
Well, in this situation, Chelsea's is preparing for a double. Now, I appreciate the preparation, so that way she stays ahead of the game. Well, with her preparing for this double, she's like, who is a threat to me? And then that's when Cam said to her, Leah is someone that would come for you. He says that to her. And he has like kind of intimate knowledge, but not really, because they're not as close as they used to be. But then, like she said in the episode, she says, you're going to vote to keep her anyway. So
why would I volunteer her name if I was going to keep her?
Correct. And that's what Cam's like. And she said, I mean, you saw it in the episode, I did respect this. That she's like, your words have been true and your actions have followed suit, but your unintentional actions. Because as you know, Cam likes to shout out his dogs at the crib.
Yep.
Chelsea, he treats Chelsea like she's one of the dogs at the crib.
You know what they need? You know how both Joseph and Quinn got that big friend zone stamp?
Yeah.
We need one of those on Chelsea.
Yeah. And like, well, we need Cam to go into the diary room and say that he just sees her as a homie.
And I don't think he's aware how much she's pining.
And like, I agree with Tasha in the chat. It is all because she's jealous, and that is true. Because she had a crush, he's not interested. And Chelsea, great person, you know what I'm saying? She's smart, she's attractive, she can hoop, and he's an athlete. She's a college athlete. Like, there's a lot of commonalities they have there.
But sometimes the person's just not for you.
But she also doesn't like being treated as one of the homies.
Well, that's because she can't she can't get over the fact that he's not interested.
Correct, but I think it's hard to say it like that, though, right? Because unlike, like, we saw Leah tell Joseph and Quinn, I want a strategic relationship.
You know what's funny is Leah's not interested in any of these dudes, and all of these dudes are like openly fawning over her and throwing themselves at her. One of these dudes just needs to start nagging her. She'll come around real quick.
Remember that show, The Pickup Artist?
Yeah, exactly.
Where is that dude now? You know what I'm saying? Like, where is that? Because that shit definitely didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like, being a dick to women just didn't. It's a terrible move.
And that was before society would have called him out on being an asshole.
Yeah. Someone would have dug up all his shit. Mystery. That was that dude's name. Someone would have dug up. They would have found out his name was like Charles James or some shit like that. It would have been some like regular ass name, and they would have called his ass out.
Speaking of names, this is completely random, but I was watching the Oregon Boise State game on Saturday night, and Oregon's kicker's name is Atticus Sappington.
Let's go, Atticus Sappington.
The most country club ass name I have ever seen.
Wait, we got a development in the chat. Tasha says they've been cutting the feed, and Chelsea and Cam have had some pillow talk. They do be talking at nighttime. They're in the same room. If they're cutting the feed and not showing them, maybe he has said something. Maybe he's like, listen, I know she alluded. I do remember hearing that she alluded that like they didn't want to fuck up their games, but he said like we can see what's up later. But also, Cam's a dude, and so dude's not trying to close no doors. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to close no doors.
Nope.
So if there's an opportunity later, you might be able to see what's up after.
So maybe what he's saying is, I can showmance with Mackenzie, but I would romance Chelsea.
Oh, but Chelsea's like, Negro, if you're going to showmance them girl, you going to romance me later? Showmance me now. Okay? Romance me later? Showmance me now. That's what she said. Romance me later. Hit me with the flowers later, the chocolates later. But let's get in this bed today. Let's like cuddle. And like not in the bed because I'm Christian girly. Get Christian girly, Biola University. But I do know girls over to Biola, and they're trying to get a ring by spring. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to get a ring by spring. And obviously that didn't work out for Chelsea. So she's like, Lord, I'm about to put my man right here in the Big Brother house, who was a wide receiver at like, where'd he go? Penn State. Wide receiver at Penn State. Put my man in the house. You know what I'm saying?
So imagine the athletes these two would have.
Man, their kids would be ballers. Like, their kids would be ballers. Just being real. And then probably on reality TV, like, at 23.
Yeah, like
they didn't make it. Like
You either
mom
make
and
it into the
dad.
league, you make it to the league, or you make it on Big Brother.
One or the other. One or the other. But um, it's just funny though because like Chelsea gives him the third degree, and he says like I've been proven to be loyal to you, and he also says like I am not someone that's going to touch you or her. And the her he was alluding to was T-Core
Yeah,
because there is there's an
an
unspoken
unofficial. Yeah, they're not
thing that
going
we got going
after
on
each
here.
other. Yeah, the three of them are not going after each other, so they technically have a final three. Because I honestly don't think any of them would touch the others
Right,
unless they were
right,
both sitting on the block next to each other.
correct. Because they had no choice. But even
Yeah,
then, like T-Core
well,
didn't want to put Cam up.
except for if Cam was sitting next to Chemo, T Core would vote out Cam.
I don't know actually, to be honest.
We can talk about it more in the spoiler section.
Yeah, but Cam tells her like I'm not trying to do that at all. I'm not about that life. I'm not trying to come for you at all, Chelsea. I would never do it. I would never do it. And Chelsea's like, I love when Chelsea's like, do I need to put you up next to next to Leah?
Nah.
Do you need me to put you up next to Leah? Because I'll do it. And it's like throwing. She like said, I'm about to burn you on the stove, and then he's like, what are you talking about? She's like, just kidding, the stove wasn't on.
I mean,
I was just trying to say,
it's funny
I'll
because if
put
I'm
your
him, I'm
hands on the
like,
stove.
I'll just be like, we're not the cookout. Like, I don't need to sit next to her for her to go home because I'm working with you.
I don't even think I'd say it like that. I would have been like, do I need to sit you? What if I put you up next to her? You listen, I'm not trying to put your life in danger. If you want her gone this week, she's gone this week. I'm not, all my actions, Chelsea, have stated to you that I'm with you. Yeah, like the little girlie's like lay on my lap or whatever. That's fine. If you don't like it, whatever, like that part, you need to like realize is all just game. This is real. And like he even got his like wife beat on. It reminded me like one of the movies. You know what I'm saying? Where they're like sitting there in their basketball shorts and they're just like sitting like all they needed was like a street light to be on as they're having this like real conversation about you with me, dog. You, I'm with you. We together. I'm with you. Like Sasha said, like your baby boy. Like yes, that's what you needed. Like a Taraji, Tyrese type situation is what you needed with Jody. I'm not playing with you, Jody. That's what you needed in this situation because he is with her. He is with her. Like it's the truth. And Chelsea believed
100%.
it, but she like
100%.
needed to believe. So we then get in the episode. She talks to Quinn. She tells Quinn that he's gonna be good to go. Now, in my opinion, her nominees need to be Angela and Leah, straight up. But if Leah goes up, Leah's got to go home. So if I'm putting Leah up, I got to secure the votes. I know that I have 3 for sure from Rubina, Chemo, and T-Core because they owe me. Point blank period. They
Yes.
owe me. They're all 3 here because of me. So the next, I know that Angela's on the block. That's a vote taken away from her. So that leaves Quinn.
From the other side for Leah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that would have locked it in. I was thinking about it now. Because that leaves, so there's nine people altogether. 3 of us can't vote. There's 3 on the other side.
Yeah.
T-Core, Quinn. I
It's a
would have done
tiebreaker.
that. I would have done that. I would have legitimately went and said to Chemo, I would pull that trio together. And I would have talked to my trio and said, look, I need Leah to go home right now.
Yeah.
Period. Without question, I need her to go home. I cannot risk her staying, and I know that the trio have my back to vote her out. I would have then told Mackenzie, and Cam, I'm going to put up Quinn, and I'm looking to backdoor Leah straight away. That's the plan. I would told the trio, I'm looking to backdoor Leah because if I'm Chelsea, I don't have no love lost for her. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
and you already saw it in the episode with Chelsea talking about how like I'm gonna have my one-on-one with Leah, and Leah's not talking about nothing. She's just talking in circles. So we already
Correct.
know Chelsea doesn't trust her.
Correct. So she don't do nothing for me in my game. So since that's the case, I need to backdoor her. Period. Period. So then I go to Quinn and I say, so I have a bigger plan in place. I need you to be a pawn for me. And Quinn's not gonna like it. And then tell him I have a bigger plan in place. You're gonna be sitting next to Angela. Because I think also it'd be funny if Angela goes home sitting next to you. You know what I'm saying? How great is that? And it's like, go ahead and win veto though. If you win veto, I have a different plan in play. But do what you gotta do. If Quinn decides to win veto and like keep her on the block, tell the three, y'all's choice. Pontius Pilate that bitch. And
Yep,
wash your hands of the matter. He decided not to use the veto on himself, so then Leah couldn't go up.
that's on him.
Yep, Angela's sitting next to him. Whatever, that's up to them. But if it doesn't work, say cool. Quinn wins the veto. Whoever wins the veto, they take down Quinn, take down Angela. I put Leah up post haste, and then I say, trio, do your thing. I'm the tiebreaker vote. I'm sending her ass to the jury because she's no good for my game at all,
Yeah.
and she's not good for their game because she just tried to vote out chemo.
It's just funny that like we have to go through all these machinations. And the reason I say that is because we haven't had a dominant core alliance this game. We've had a lot of pairs working in and out of each other.
Pairs and trios, pairs and trios.
Yeah, it's pairs and trios that like it's like you see in some seasons of Survivor where there's not a core alliance, it's voting blocks. And that's what we're
Yeah.
getting in Big Brother, which I can't remember the last time we've had something like this. It's really interesting.
Shout out to Ed, by the way. Ed's in the chat. Good to see you, Ed. You're right. It is really interesting because normally there's a dominant alliance, and that's been the prevailing strategy as of late.
Yeah.
In this situation, you have voting groups. I won't say voting blocks because the groups have stayed together. I feel like when you have blocks, the blocks transform and change as we go on. But in terms of the groups, they're pretty locked in. T-Core's in charge of her group. Chelsea has her group. And then Quinn had a little group. And then he said, you know what? I don't need Joseph as a number. I'm going to yeet him up out of here. And then you have Angela saying, I'm down to work with anyone. Unless you saved me, then I'm going to turn on you. Which is a different situation.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 32 times.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Fool me 3 times. Fool me 4 times. Fool me 5 times.
Fool me. This is just getting ridiculous amount of
What
times.
did LeBron say? What did LeBron say? Not 1, not 2.
2, not 3, not 4. Was he talking about Angela's game? We don't know.
Yeah, he was. I think he was. I think LeBron was talking about Angela's game strategy when he was in Miami. Not sure how this situation. But we don't have that, right? We end up, and after the questioning, we end up as the noms the same as before, right? Just last week, Quinn put up Chemo and Angela along with Rubina. This week, we got Chemo and Angela with the thought of Rubina, but just 2 now. So we're going to put up those same 2 as before. Now, I like this move on a macro level because you can't be mad at me because you guys are just on the block. Remember Quinn did that to y'all.
Yeah. I'm just following Quinn's wishes.
I just follow Quinn's wishes.
Just do what the house wants.
And so it doesn't look as bad. But I think that there was just another move that was there in the Leah and the Quinn going up with the Leah back door. Because I still maintain that anytime I put somebody up, I'm putting up people. If I'm HOH, I'm putting up people I don't care if they go home.
Exactly. Why would you ever want a pawn?
Yeah,
Like I'll
I'm not
tell
pawning
everybody
nobody.
they're a pawn. Yeah, you're a pawn. Whatever.
Yeah, both
I'll
of you
lie
are
to you.
pawns. I have a third option. That's what I'm really both of you are pawns. I need you to win the veto, and then I'm gonna really do my real move. But in
Yeah.
reality, I don't care what happens. If I win the veto, so here's the situation. I was thinking about that backdoor option, but the other person on the block next to you, they're actually the target. You're the pawn.
Yeah.
So the other person, you're the other person's the target.
I
Then
would do that with everybody in the house except for Angela, where I would sit her down and be like, "You're the target. Good luck."
Angela, oh, am I the pawn? No,
And then I would
no, you're
watch her
not,
try. And then I'd watch her
dude.
try.
When Angela's like, "Don't put me up," or what have I done? Why am I always? I've been up every week, bro. In week one, you came downstairs, said googly eyes, said it was a low budget movie. Like you are the reason that you're up here,
Yeah. You've been going after people.
non-stop,
Like you
non-stop.
reduced Lisa to tears just by
Mm-hmm.
going after her. Now, the
Yeah,
content of what you said wasn't particularly malicious, but you
right.
still reduced her to tears.
Correct, correct. You told Matt he had crazy eyes, blew up McKenzie's game and shit. Like these are all things that happen. You're up there because of you.
Yeah.
Last
Why am
week,
I up here?
you
It's a you problem.
yes, it's a YP. It's a U problem. It's not an MP. It's a YP,
Exactly.
and it is what it is. But we get the same noms as before. This time though, Kim was like, "Chill going on." I was surprised by that. He was like, "Nah, I get it. It's cool."
Yeah.
But he's taking up some next because
He's sitting next to
very
Angela, so
obvious,
he's not worried because he knows
right?
his side of the house will never vote him out next to Angela.
Correct. Correct. Because he has those numbers.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we're going to get to the spoilers in a minute. But Angela is on the block once again. And is once again the person that you want to go home, at least today.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the episode, man. What did you think of Chelsea winning the veto and winning the HOH and being on up there as the HOH and making the decisions? What are your thoughts on her beginning of her HOH reign?
I have a real problem with how she went after Cam after just recently betraying his trust by voting out Joseph and not cluing him in.
Mm.
And then you immediately come at him after he's shown you nothing but loyalty, and you've admitted he's shown you nothing but loyalty, and been like, "Well, I can't trust you based on your actions. What if my actions have been untrue?" So
True.
I don't think she's doing a good job of managing her relationships as HOH. She kind of comes off as drunk with power. And like the nominees don't really hurt anything, but it has not been a productive week.
True. True. And, well, I didn't mind her coming for Cam because Cam's been waiting in the cut, right? Cam's been chilling in the cut. He's been loyal, but like it's hard because Chelsea's the one that's like leading the votes. Cam told her he just wanted to be on the right side of the numbers. Right?
Yeah.
That's what he originally said. I just want to be on the right side of the numbers. And then if it really was a game time decision, there was just no time to clue you in.
Yeah, like unless we passed in the hall, that was the only way she could have told him.
Correct, correct. And so, um, with that being the case, and if the switch really was made then, that's tough. Now, if Herman McKenzie has some other plans, sorry, my guy, you're just left out. But you're right. I need to pull him back in. But it was funny because, like, I remember I was looking online, and someone, so remember, For the Love of Money,
Yeah.
someone had a clip of that, and they said Chelsea and Cam. It was that night, and I forgot who the girl was from Kiss of Love or Flavor of Love. She was, remember it from I Love New York?
Nah, but go on.
There's a dude named It. He's like sloppily dressed, and she's like It. He walks up and she's like, I'm gonna tear up your check right now. Tell me why I shouldn't tear up your check. He's like, oh, listen, you know you my boo thing, and you know that don't eliminate me, girl. Cause like I've been rocking with you, Safari or whatever her name was. You know I've been rocking with you, and she's like, you need to stop doing this dumb shit and just be up there, okay, or like whatever. And he's like, all right, girl. It's like, here's your check. And then he went back and she did her confessional. I'm not getting rid of my boo thing. But it was like, she had to like call him out publicly to make him do the thing she needed him to do.
He had to get scared straight.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Chelsea felt. Because Chelsea's been feeling these things. And like Tasha said earlier, she is jealous. But the jealousy, it's coming from a different place. A place that Chelsea doesn't really want it to come from. It's not that strategic place.
And that's why I say he's not worth $750,000. Like,
and she knows that. She knows that.
But she's not acting that way.
No, she is. She is. But that's why she like called him out on the shit. Because she's like, are you willing to risk my life for this little white girl? Tell me right now.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you know, Chelsea, I ain't trying to risk your life for no little white girl. And he's like, good. I'm just trying to make sure. Because if we rocking, we rocking.
What if he would have said yes? She would have been like, oh, damn. This is not going the way I thought it would. What do I
because it's absolutely on the block. You don't say yes right here, CJ. Like she ain't made no knowledge yet.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And so, with that being said, man, we get Chemo and Angela on the block. I do agree with you. She should have came up that way. But we are in a good situation. Chelsea is HoH. We're going to see what happens in Vito. Thank y'all for joining us here with the 5 p.m.ers. If you're taking off right now, get on out of here because we're about to hit them spoilers. Because I know who won the veto. I know if the veto was used and stuff. You know all those things. We're going to answer some Ed's questions here in the chat. Don't look if you don't want to be spoiled, though. Don't look at Ed's questions in the chat. But so, get on out of here. Thank you for joining us. Come on back on Thursday, I believe, this week. I believe me, Sheldon, and Kylie will be back Thursday. If not, we might be doing a special episode on Friday. But definitely catch me and CJ back here, the 5 p.m.ers, Monday, talking about the 5 p.m. episode of what we got going on over the next week. Get on out of here. Thank you for joining us. CJ, we got to give him a few seconds to get up out of here. 10 seconds. Countdown. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit him, CJ.
Man, I thought they'd never leave.
That's right. It is the spoilers time. Spoilers. Okay, CJ. You know, Chelsea is the HoH.
As you know, I recently had to buy a new computer after Angela stayed in the house another week. I'm going to tell y'all before we even get this deep in here, because we're in the spoiler section, so we're going to get there. Y'all lucky we had a podcast today. I had to go to Best Buy and get another computer.
You keep breaking them because Angela stay here. And because once again, the veto was used, CJ. 7 weeks in a row, 8 weeks in a row, veto's been used. And for the third time, a record.
When I said I had a bad day?
Yes, a record third time. A record third time. Angela was saved from the block with the veto. Not by her own veto.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
Man, even better, CJ. Do you know what the veto competition was?
Yes.
It was O10. And for the, once again, another record for the season. O10 was completed in one question.
They got me crying. This whole weekend, they've had me crying. First of laughter and now anger. OTEV,
OTEV.
only one person, to put what Kevin said in perspective, only one person got the first question right.
Yes, yes. And now the question, from what I hear, I don't know if you heard what the question was. It was apparently a little trickery.
I did not
A little
hear
trickery.
what the question was, but I've been pondering this for 2 days now.
The question, I believe, was like, who did not compete in the first HOH competition?
Okay, so that would have
And
been Cedric
it's
and Chelsea.
everyone, but you forgot in the first HOH competition, they had to do the threes.
Oh, so also Tucker and who was Tucker with Mackenzie?
Mackenzie, Lisa, somebody.
Yeah.
Everyone guessed Tucker. The actual answer is Cedric, because the first part of the competition was pairing up into those groups of three.
Yeah.
So Tucker competed in that first part, didn't find a group of three, so he was just eliminated first.
But the question was who didn't compete? It was Cedric and Chelsea.
Cedric is the right answer. Everyone except Mackenzie grabbed the Tucker board. She grabbed the Cedric board.
So a lot of times with the OTEV competition, it's a pair. So it's like it's this and this. So was it specifically
It's
what male didn't compete?
no. So it was because it's only evicted house guests. So it's usually the answer. Sometimes it's combined names, but
Oh,
it's like it's
okay.
always evicted house guests is the answers to the
Yeah.
question. And so the question was, then they just had everybody's name and the goop and all the stuff, everything like normal. You had to climb through the stuff. The question was, who did not compete in the first HOH competition?
Yeah. So of the evicted head house guest, he's the only answer.
Correct, because Tucker did compete.
Yes.
Everyone grabbed Tucker's name except for Mackenzie, who grabbed Cedric's name. And Angela apparently was like, Kenzie got that bitch wrong. Well, Angela.
Well.
Because Angela apparently was telling somebody that she saw that Mackenzie had Cedric and she was going to tell her something, but she didn't want to mess up her own
Chance.
trip to the
Yeah.
lane. So she was like, I'm just going to let her get out. Lo and behold, everyone got out except for Mackenzie. And poof, Mackenzie is the veto winner after one single OTEV question.
So, you know how they often stretch vetoes out into one, maybe two segments?
I have no idea how we're going to get another episode.
What is your over under on time spent on the veto competition itself? 3 minutes? Because that's longer than what the game went, apparently.
I think we're going to get a 10-minute segment of the veto comp. It's going to be like the build up. They're going to talk about OTEV. They're going to be talking about how iconic OTEV is. They're going to be, you're going to come back from the commercial break. You're going to get each of the six talking about it. You're going to get them searching for the word itself. You're going to get a lot of that. Everyone's going to get up there. And then whoever's last is going to be like, cool, I'm going to take their spot. You're going to have Angela talking shit.
Yep.
And then the correct answer is Cedric.
And then all of them just looking baffled.
Congratulations, Mackenzie. So Mackenzie wins the veto.
Like I said, I've been pondering this for 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah, we hadn't talked about it. That's how that was what the question was, and that's I mean a little trick. It was a trick question. It was the right answer.
I mean, I would have gotten it right.
Yes. I probably would have gotten it wrong if I'm trying to go fast, because I would have remembered that Tucker didn't compete. But
And
I
I
would
would
have
have
forgot
remembered
that
they
the
were
first part.
Yeah.
I would remember they were mascots too. No, I would remember that part. But I would have forgot that the first part was the first part.
So I would have remembered that the two people who lost the Ainsley vote games in the slowest times we're not allowed to compete the first week. So that would have been where I went.
You would have just thought that was the answer because of that reason. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so McKenzie's the McKenzie got the veto. I thought with McKenzie winning the veto, there's no way this shit's gonna get used.
Easy week. Easy week.
Easy week. The game's in the cooler, the door's closed, the butter's getting hard, and the jello's jiggling. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was a wrap. But then I feel like there's probably some production interference. I mean, I think production wants the veto used every week. You know what I'm saying? They want to see if they can get it used every week. We've had 7 weeks so far. And
why not 8?
they started getting antsy. Now, CJ, as Ed said here in the chat, he's with you. He's not a fan of Angela's brand of entertainment. What is one thing Angela's good for?
Having the veto used on her.
Okay. And then what's she good for after that?
Completely flaming the person that just saved her.
I'm glad you said that because she saw Quinn and Leah chit-chatting, and she went to Chelsea Sunday morning and said, I think Leah's conspiring against you.
Y'all see why I'm going through computers at a record rate this season.
She said, thank you for saving me last week. You have my vote for 6 days. Because on the 7th day, I got to get to work getting you out of here. She did it to Quinn when he tried to give her the lifeline about the alliance. She did it to Tucker after he saved her. She's now done it to Leah.
Yeah, 3 for 3.
And so Chelsea's like, this is wild. This is wild as fuck. Leah's really coming for me like that. She talks to Cam and Mackenzie, and they're like, that's wild. I don't know if it's true because Angela said, I saw Quinn and Leah talking to T-Core, Rubina, and Chemo, and I heard through the door that they were trying to create a new alliance, and they wanted to come for you when you're off the block, when you're not HoH.
Why would I ever believe? Number one, why would I ever believe anything Angela told me? But number two, more importantly, why have they not started just throwing doors open whenever they walk in and out of a room?
Smack her in the face.
Because we all know she does it.
Yeah. So, well, after that little conversation, that's when Chelsea goes and starts fact checking. She talked to Rubina. Rubina's like, no, we did not talk about doing this. She talked to Chemo and T-Core, and they're like, no, we have not talked to Leah at all. We had some chit chat last night, but that was it because we were all drinking after the 1 round veto competition. Yeah, we're just hanging out. And so she talks so she goes and talks to Cam and Mackenzie. Is like, okay, I don't think it's really happening. But what if we take a shot at Quinn and Leah anyway?
Ridiculous.
And so thus the wheel started turning.
And
they said,
as this happened, I was actually surprised that Mackenzie was given the green light to go after Leah.
You know what it really was that she was given the green light for? The trio of T-Core, Rubina, and Chemo were saying, this would be a good game move if you use the veto.
Yep.
You should use it on Chemo.
Yeah. So that Quinn
can go up and sit next to Angela while we vote Angela out of here.
Yeah.
And then Chelsea was like, or we could vote Quinn or Leah up out of here.
Wild.
And so thus things started happening. Ed says Leah crying that her votes and shields are being voted out. Yes, she is. Because what ends up happening is that they say, Leah, no, nay, not Leah. Quinn. If Quinn's gone, that opens the door for Chelsea, Cam, and Mackenzie to win comps,
Yep.
which is true. If comps were still the same as last season. And then they're going to take a shot. Chelsea's like, you two, Quinn, Cam, or Mackenzie, take a shot at the trio. Not, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Which is a great game move for her because T-Core and them, they're with her.
Yeah. So it's for me to rock with you, you got to take them out. Because I'm just going to rock with whoever has the numbers at the end of the game.
Yeah, because I have put myself in a good spot to be able to roll through, but I need some of these people to get yeeted up out of here, and I can't be doing all the yeeting.
Yeah. I can yeet at 4, but I cannot yeet at 7.
Yes, correct. And if it's a double yeet, I don't want to be yeeted. That's all
Nope.
it is. Because the double I don't want none of that. So, with that being the way it is, she's like, I don't want to blindside him. So this morning, she talked to Quinn. And she told
She
Quinn.
was up all night.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And she said, woke up first thing in the morning and said to Quinn, listen, my guy, I'm going to have to put you up. He's like, what? She's like, yeah, man. Lee was talking to me late at night and said that you were bad for her game and you got to go up. He's like, or, we can just not use it. Or if you have to use it, we can put a Rubina.
Yeah, or that's
because
not how it
he
works.
I think he still thought that the veto was going to be used on chemo.
Yes. He doesn't want to sit next to Angela.
Right, because he says, I'm too juicy of a target to take out. And that's when the fees cut. Because when the fees came back, it didn't work. Quinn, sitting next to chemo. One of them boys are going home. And Leah's pissed. Because like Ed said, Leah's out here crying that her votes and her shields are being voted out the house.
Yep.
People that could protect her. Earlier, just to real touch on something, earlier Ed asked, do I think Kaminsky is a real thing? I do not. Cam and Mackenzie, I think, were just like cool, cuddling, not really big into it, not really nothing, just hanging out. And I think that now that it's like coming up, that it's an issue for Chelsea. Chelsea's played it off like, nah, I'm cool. I'm cool. This is what you do when you're cool. You like say you're cool and you're cool. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm cool. If y'all want to just cuddle, I'm cool. And Leah's like, nah, man, she's jealous. She's like, fuck that bitch, Leah. I'm cool. Because obviously, CJ, she's cool. With her being so cool about it, because she's not, Cam has taken a step back. Tasha said in the chat earlier, he has backed off of it. So I think it was just like we're hanging out thing, we're touchy feely, we're not interested in each other, but we like cuddling, like another attractive person type deal.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a real thing. But once again, TJ, Angela got saved. And TJ, your connection, I don't know if it's broken. You still
do you think if you're Cam, do you go up to both Quinn and Chemo at some point before eviction and like, look, they're obviously taking out the dudes. Regardless of what happens after this vote, we cannot go after each other. We have to, we don't have to be final two, but we cannot go after each other because these women are obviously already going after us.
Do you want to know my real thought on that?
What's your fake thought on that?
My fake thought is that I don't think that they say that to each other. My real thought is that I think since season 17, they've been trying to have strong groups of women because they want a strong women's alliance, whether it be when they had Bronte and Nicole and what's her face seasons ago. Like they've
Yeah.
been trying to cast intelligent women so they can come together, and they've been casting dumber and dumber guys, like intentionally so, because they
Makes
want
sense.
the women to do like a group together. And so you get a meathead like Jackson and Jack, while you have someone like super smart in the game knowledge of Nicole, and even Bella that season was smart, went to UCLA, but then they fell in the same trappings of everything else,
Yeah.
right? In 21. In 20, you have someone that was super smart like Angela, super good like Angela. Sam was a wild card, but you have like an Angela, a Bailey, a Rachel, and then you have like a JC who's just chaotic, and like a Fetsy who's done with a box of rocks. So you have like these. I think they've been trying to stack it with intelligent women and getting like not so smart dudes for a while.
And I don't
And
think this is I don't think this is a final six for the women. Like, obviously, they're not formally working together, but they're informally working together and they're just picking off the dudes.
correct. And so I think that since Chemo's with two girls, Cam
Yeah.
is with two girls, so they'll never see the knife.
Yeah.
That's why my informal answer is that it doesn't happen because they're not going to see it. My real answer was that this has been in the works for years,
Yeah.
trying to put this together, and it has fallen into it. And Cam will never see the blade.
And like the reason why I'm saying this is because all I want is a mutual agreement between this dude. We're not putting each other up on the block because there there's other options. And that's what I'm like. We don't have to be a final two, but we need to at least get to four together. And then we'll see what happens.
There's not enough time. There's only two guys left.
Oh, I know, but I'm like,
Chemo,
if there's eight people in the house and I know one person will never put me up, I can rest a little easier.
but so here's the thing, right? If you keep telling Cam that the only person that's going to be able to beat him in a physical competition is Chemo,
I think Cam would laugh.
no. Cam wants Chemo gone
That's stupid.
because he thinks
Just
he's
like
the
the
one that
men
can
they
beat him
beat
in a
casting.
physical. Because the math makes sense if you look at it. If you look at it from a bird's eye view, it doesn't. But up close, if you're in it, I know these physical conflicts coming down the pipe. So says history.
Yeah.
The only other physical person in here is Chemo as a man.
Yeah.
That's the only one I need to worry about. On the flip side, Chemo and Cam don't have a strong relationship. Chemo has a strong relationship with Chelsea and developing a better relationship with Mackenzie. If you're going for that trio, T-Core is also not going to let you touch Chelsea. So you put Mackenzie and Cam next to each other. And if Cam goes, Cam goes.
Yeah.
And now you're looking around and there's Chemo and the girls. And at this point, we're doing it.
Yeah.
We can make history. Like, if Chemo wins HoH and Cam goes home on his HoH, Chemo needs to win veto.
Yeah,
because if Chemo is on the block at the end, I have to just look around and say we may have our differences, but historically, there's never been 5 or 6 women in the end.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is like, this is why I'm going to the other guy. And I'm like, we don't got to work together. Like, we don't need to strategize or whatever, but we cannot go after each other because we're helping each other block them from doing something historical because when push comes to shove, they might just do it for the talking point.
They're doing it for the plot. It's true.
Yeah.
But you're speaking of the person that sees the blade.
Yes.
You've been watching for 57 days. Do you think Cam or Chemo sees the knife?
No. And
And how could they?
realistically,
They did a
if
great job hiding it.
if Quinn survives this vote somehow, I think he would have that conversation with Cam.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't see like the three are never going to vote out Chemo. Is Chelsea going to vote out Chemo? Because
So
being with T-Core is so important to her, I don't see a world where she votes out Chemo.
So that's where we end up right this moment. Before, when we talked about me and you talked about the Tyreek Hill video, I was looking at the feeds right before then, before we jumped on about 2 hours ago. And MJ was saying, what if we keep Quinn and take out Chemo? And Chelsea's like, I've already made this move. I don't love that idea. And MJ was starting to get into why this might be a better idea for them.
And this goes back to what we were talking about before spoilers of voting blocks or voting pairs. Like, what is the best move for me in this moment is very much a voting block, like loose voting mentality, as opposed to what is the goal for the squad. And because there are no squads, the game has been very fluid, and that's why it's been so messy.
But so fun.
Yes.
Chelsea's been trying to think of how does this set me up long term. And she's done a very good job of that. But she needs Quinn at this point. Now she's made the move. She needs Quinn to go for her long term game.
Yes.
Quinn can stay for the plot, but that's not good for Chelsea's long term game.
Yeah, because she has now just broken all trust with him.
Correct. So
I personally want Chemo to go home this week.
Okay.
But I just don't see if the vote is a tie, if it goes to Chelsea, there is no way Quinn stays.
Correct.
So we're looking at Mackenzie being the swing vote this week?
Cam.
I think Cam votes to save Quinn. Or do you think he does whatever Chelsea says?
I think Chelsea pulls the card, right? But not even. Angela hates Quinn.
Yeah, Angela's going to vote him out. And then you have the three that will never vote Chemo out.
Yeah, and then you tell Cam. So then you tell Cam, I need you to vote Quinn out. I wouldn't have made this move if we didn't think collectively it was a good idea. And that's what we talked about. Now he's going to be coming for me, and Leah stays too, and both of them are coming for me.
So, yeah, like...
You said on Friday that you would never do nothing to risk my game.
Mm-hmm.
I now need you to prove it.
I just don't see a world where they can get even 3 votes for Chemo after like what we just talked about. If you do get the 3 votes against Chemo, so we're talking about Leah, Angela, and Cam,
or Leah McKenzie and Cam,
or Leah McKenzie and Cam. Either way, I don't see how Chelsea doesn't vote Quinn out.
I mean, I'll just say right here, Cam pushed to put Quinn up on the block last night. Like, that's why I would be the one I would have to go, I need you. Like, we talked about this. You would never do nothing to ruin my game. You wanted this. You wanted this over Leah.
You know what would be funny? Is if it somehow was supposed to be 3-3 with Chemo being blindsided, but like Chelsea having to pull the trigger, and then Angela goes in and just been like, I haven't been on the right side of a vote all season, so whatever they told me, I'm going the opposite.
That's what Ed said. Angela will blow that shit up just because Anarchy and CJ on the same page talking about how the season's going. Now Tasha's correct. She said Chelsea's planting seeds for MJ to take out T-Core. That is
Yes.
true. She does not want to be the one because we are just talking about seeing the blade. Chelsea is making MJ her assassin for T-Core because she can't do it herself because she'll
Yeah.
lose that vote. If she loses that vote, she loses all 3 votes. If she loses all 3 votes, she doesn't win the game.
Yeah. She can't be the one to do it, but she's orchestrating. But it's rough, and this is like when I was saying she hasn't used her HoH effectively. Is you burned Quinn, who you had trust in, and now you might end up taking out Chemo anyway. You would blow up all of your trust with everyone in the game.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
It's
You
not
have to
worth
take
it.
Quinn out.
And this is why I say, like, I don't see a world where Quinn makes it past Thursday because Chelsea is smart enough to realize that if she were to put Quinn up and then still vote Chemo out, she just lost T-Core and she lost Quinn.
If you're a wrestling fan, if you ever watch wrestling, there was a wrestler named Bray Wyatt, and he had a finisher called Sister Abigail, where he like leans the person forward, gives them a kiss on the forehead, and then does a move where he like slams them onto the ground. That's basically what Chelsea's going to have to do to Quinn, because she cannot let him stay under any circumstances after you make the move.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Especially if you're thinking that this week is a double.
Correct. I can't give them 2 chances to get me.
Yeah.
Now, Ed's asking for the rankings, and you know I love it. CJ, from bottom to the top, who can win this game?
But I
Who's
didn't
at
write
the
it
bottom?
down last time. I don't remember. All right. So
Well,
at the
give me your
bottom
new
right
ranking.
now,
Mhm.
on the bottom right now, based on where we are, Quinn. Because as we just talked about, there's no way.
Okay, so you have Quinn at 9.
At number 8, Angela.
Okay.
Although you and I texted earlier today, and I did say, like, at this point, Angela has my vote. Because if Angela makes it to the end with the narrative that she has, how do you not vote for her?
Because what's the narrative? That you were saved all the time because there's other people to take out instead of you?
Well, it depends on who she's sitting next to.
That's what I would say, that there was other people to take out instead of you.
Angela wins with a bitter jury at this point.
Yes, only a bitter jury.
So Angela's 8.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, Cam.
Okay.
Because at this point, I think the women are just going to stick together.
Okay.
Number 6, Leah.
Okay.
Number 5, Chemo.
Okay.
Number 4, Rubina.
Okay.
Number 3, Mackenzie. Number 2, Chelsea, and number 1, T-Core. Because I think if T-Core is sitting at the end, everyone just seems to genuinely like her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she wins because of that. I think Chelsea will out-talk her if those two are sitting next to each other. I don't think Chelsea will allow it to happen for her to sit next to T-Core. But I think if T-Core is sitting next to anyone else, she wins.
So I think similarly, and I think when I do this ranking is like, who, if you are sitting next to anyone above you, you don't win, right?
Yes.
So at number 9, I have Angela, actually.
Yes, that makes sense.
Number 8, I have Quinn, because if Quinn somehow makes it through here, it's going to be a tough road, but it's doubtful.
Yeah. Okay.
7, I have Leah, because I don't think the rest of them want to vote for Leah unless she was sitting next to Quinn or Angela.
That's fair.
6, I now have Cam. I think Cam has a tough road against everybody above him. If he's sitting next to anyone above him, it's going to be a tough vote. 5, I have Rubina. 4, I have Chemo. 3,
Okay.
I have Mackenzie as well, MJ. 2, I only have Chelsea here because I think if she sits next to T-Core, T-Core has 2 instant votes already in jury.
Yes.
And Rubina and Chemo, and you need 4.
Yeah, she needs 2 more. And that's why I'm saying, like, I think that T-Core wins because I don't see a world where Chelsea sits next to T-Core, because I don't think Chelsea would ever take T-Core to
Correct.
Final Two.
That was the next thing I
And
was going to say, that Chelsea needs to focus on getting T-Core out.
and I think T-Core would take Chemo before Chelsea. So
I don't
that's why.
disagree.
So that's why, like, it's not that I don't think Chelsea would beat. Like, I don't. I think if Chelsea sat next to T-Core, Chelsea would win. But I don't see how they sit next to each other. I guess is like, there's no world that I see them sitting next to each other.
Okay, I can see that. So those are our rankings. That is our show. Thank you guys for joining us in the chat. As Tasha said, that's why the trip needs to be in jury, and it's true. You got to get all three of them there. If one of them makes it through, slip through the crack, you didn't do the job right, they're going to win the game. Thank you guys for joining us. Come back to us on next Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, to join us here at the 5 p.m. with me and CJ as we break down everything that happened in the week that has happened. Make sure you jump in the chat with us, Tasha, and thank y'all for coming. Thank you for joining us. Coming to you from outside of the Big Brother house. Good night.
Peace.